happens when one of the world's highest tides meets a river. You get something pretty amazing. The reversing falls of St. John, New Brunswick. Hello everyone, welcome back to Coconut and Maple Stories. Today is day 3 of our Maritime Provinces road trip. We leave Halifax early in the morning, drive to Digby, take a ferry across the Bay of Fundy, and arrive in St. John. We will also stop to visit the Fort Howe National Historic Site and also to see the Three Sisters Lamp. And the best part, we're going to see the reversing falls not once but twice at different stages of the tide. It's 6:30 in the morning and we're checking out of our hotel in Halifax. It's an early start, but we have quite a bit of ground to cover today. Our first destination is Digby, on the western side of Nova Scotia, where we'll catch the ferry to St. John in New Brunswick. And now we're ready for our next adventure, the ferry across the Bay of Fundy. We boarded the ferry at Digby and started our journey towards St. John. For us, this wasn't just a way to get from one place to another. The ferry ride became part of the adventure.
The name of the ferry was MV Fundy Rose. Once we boarded the ferry, we realized there was actually quite a bit to do during the crossing. There is a cafeteria on board, so you can grab some food, snacks, or a coffee while enjoying the journey. There are also outdoor walking areas and viewing decks, where you can step outside, feel the ocean breeze, and enjoy the beautiful views of Bay of Fundy. For families traveling with kids, there is even a children's play area, which is a nice touch, especially with longer ferry rides. The children's area also plays movies.
And look at the view. We're crossing the Bay of Fundy, an area famous for some of the high tides of the world.
And what made our crossing even more enjoyable was the live entertainment. A musician was playing guitar and singing for the passengers, which created a really relaxed and enjoyable atmosphere. So instead of feeling like we're simply traveling from one place to another, the ferry ride itself became part of our maritime adventure.
After the ferry ride, we arrived in St. John, New Brunswick. So before exploring St. John, we stopped for lunch and recharged for the rest of the day, because today, the main attraction was still waiting for us. And here we are, the famous Reversing Falls Rapids. But why are they called Reversing Falls? The St. John River flows toward the Bay of Fundy, but when the enormous Fundy tide comes in, the rising ocean water pushes it against the river. The result is this incredible turbulence with rapids and whirlpools. From the Reversing Falls, we headed to Fort Howe National Historic Site. This historic location was once an important part of St. John's defense. From here, you can really appreciate St. John's Harbor and the surrounding area. We also stopped to see the historic Three Sisters Lamp, and on the reminder of how important the harbor and shipping have been to this city. By now, after traveling for most of the day, everyone was ready for a break. We checked into our hotel, freshened up, and headed out for dinner. But we weren't quite finished with the reversing falls yet, because we wanted to see what happened when the tide goes the other way. A few hours later, we're back at the reversing falls. Earlier, we watched the rapids around the high tide. Now, the tide has changed, and the direction and character of the wind have changed with it. This is what makes the reversing falls so fascinating. The water doesn't literally turn around like a switch, but the powerful tidal forces change the balance between the river and the incoming ocean, creating completely different conditions. And seeing the same place at two different stages of the tide really helps you understand how powerful the Bay of Fundy really is.
And that's a wrap on day 3 of our maritime adventure. One thing we learned on this trip is that always the most interesting attractions aren't man-made. Nature always puts on the best show. If you're enjoying our Maritime Provinces adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us for the next day of our journey. We'll see you in day 4.